Hello and welcome to Spinster's Library. I'm Claudia, and as you can tell from the video title, I did a 3-hour morning routine every day of this week, Monday to Friday. Just a bit of background about my everyday life for those of you who don't know. I do a part-time PhD on Monday to Thursday, and then Friday to Sunday I am a retail assistant. When I do my PhD, which I work at from home, I usually start at 9. And when I work in the shop, I usually start anytime between 9 and 12, depending on my shift. So I wanted to create a morning routine that would allow me to tackle certain problems that I've been having in my everyday life. And because I can't just let solutions happen gradually and work on things bit by bit, I went full in and created a very intensive 3-hour, 6-step plan that would allow me to tackle all of my problems and fix all of my issues in one go. But first, let me tell you what those problems were that I was having. So the big one for me is and has always been lack of sleep. I am a chronic insomniac, and I'm sure many of you can sympathize with that. I feel like lack of sleep is one of those things in a modern society that a lot of people struggle with, and I am one of them. I always have been. Even as a child, I didn't really sleep well. It's annoying, it's frustrating, and it makes me very unproductive during the day. Now imagine if this is every single day. For me, there is very rarely a day that I actually wake up in the morning after a full night of sleep. And when those things happen, which is once every month if I'm lucky, I feel like a superhero. Like I actually feel like I have superpowers. If I wake up and I'm well rested and not tired in the morning, I'm in a better mood, and I manage to get so many more things done during the day. It's almost like the day is twice as long when I sleep well. Sadly, that doesn't happen very much at all. The insomnia is one of the main things I wanted to tackle with my morning routine. So for that, I decided to integrate a workout, a physical exercise workout. Exercising is the only thing that has ever made a difference to my sleep habits. On days that I exercise, generally I sleep better, but I really dislike exercise and I'm lazy and I find excuses for it. So that was the first thing that went into my morning routine when I was planning it. The second issue I wanted to tackle are my reading habits. In the evenings, I've been too tired and drained and exhausted to actually read. So the easiest solution really was to just put half an hour's worth of reading in my morning routine as well. And then the last problem that I wanted to tackle was procrastination. And my special procrastination skill is food. When I don't want to do something, like for example PhD research, I will just decide to make myself a really elaborate breakfast or a complete 3-course lunch from scratch, or a strawberry milkshake, or I'll make a 15-ingredient salad. I'm very good at making food preparation a really big deal, and that stops me from actually doing productive work. So I wanted in my morning routine to make breakfast quite short and not very labor intensive. And this is the routine that I came up with as written on the whiteboard in my office. So I set my alarm for 6 o'clock. Now I've never been one to use the snooze button, so I always manage to actually wake up when the alarm goes off. More often than not, I'm already awake by the time the alarm goes off because of the aforementioned sleep issues. So I give myself 15 minutes to get out of bed, go to the kitchen and make myself a cup of tea or coffee. Then for step 2, I take that tea or coffee, sit down on the sofa and spend half an hour just reading a book. Now this was without a doubt the best way to start my mornings. If you're thinking of creating a morning routine, then I can highly recommend starting your day with something that's worth getting out of bed for. Like, for example, reading. So when my alarm went off every morning, I wasn't annoyed because it was 6 o'clock and dark and horrible, because I knew I was going to get up and spend half an hour just relaxing with a book. After my tea or coffee and reading time, I would then have breakfast and plan my day in my bullet journal that I used to write my to-do lists in. So I usually prepared breakfast the night before, just making a really simple overnight porridge. On Sundays, I forgot to prepare the oats the night before, so I ended up having to fight my cat Minerva off my toast. She really likes toast. And on Friday I had cake for breakfast, because why the hell not? So while having breakfast, I'd get my bullet journal out and write my to-do list for the day. After doing that for 15 minutes, because I really didn't want to give myself more time for breakfast, I planned for half an hour's worth of housework. Now, I mainly did that so I wouldn't end up going straight from breakfast into physical exercise, because that's not a good idea and it is rather unpleasant. But during that half hour, I just did random things around the house that needed doing, like tidying up my desk or cleaning the kitchen, doing some laundry, just things like that. You'd be surprised by what you get done in half an hour's dedicated housework time. Then after that, time for the dreaded workout. I really do not enjoy physical exercise, but it is good for me and it makes me sleep better. You don't get to see me work out. Let me just preserve some of my dignity, and you'll just have to trust me that I did do a workout every single day, usually between 30 and 60 minutes long. That's why I planned a whole hour for the workout, but that really was the top end. I use workout videos from the website fitnessblender.com, which I can highly recommend if you're after some very well structured, very well explained, no bullshit workout videos. The videos are all free, and yeah, go check them out. You can do all of the workouts at home as well with either no equipment or some dumbbells, which is what I use. I'll put a link to fitnessblender.com in the description box. This is not sponsored. All of the videos are free. I've been enjoying their workouts for years. At the end of these workouts though, I was absolutely knackered. They are quite something. Then it was time for the last step of my routine, which was to get showered, to get dressed, and ready to start my actual day. As many of you know who work from home, it's so easy to not actually get dressed for work, to just lounge about in your pajamas, doing work, sometimes even still in bed, and it's not the best way to approach working from home. So I really wanted to make sure that at the end of the morning routine I was presentable and ready to get going with my work. And that's 3 hours long, 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock every single day this week. Does this sound exhausting to you? Because it certainly did when I was planning the routine, but really, actually doing it, it wasn't. because I combined things that I liked, like reading and eating breakfast, with things that I didn't like physical exercise and writing to-do lists, it ended up being quite a nice flow of things. It worked out really well for me. It certainly helped with the sleep issues, though I'm not yet completely sleeping through the night. I am waking up for much shorter periods of time, and I'm sure as I keep going with the exercise and with getting up at 6 every morning, my sleep issues should get better over the time. But really the best part about doing this was sitting down at my desk at 9 a.m. and already having achieved something. I didn't have that voice in the back of my mind telling me that I hadn't done any laundry yet, that I hadn't picked up my book for days, because I already had. So really the big question is, am I going to do this long term beyond just the concept and experiment of this video? And the answer is yes, I will. I think I'm going to very slightly modify this routine, and I'm going to make it just 15 minutes shorter by cutting the housework time from 30 down to 15 minutes. I feel like that's enough time to get some stuff done in the morning and to bridge the time between breakfast and exercise. But it also means I can set my alarm for 6:15, just get a little bit more sleep in the morning. But otherwise, yes, I will keep doing this. Forcing myself to read and to work out in the morning has just worked really well, especially the morning reading time. It's such a lovely, lovely thing just to sit down. Everything's quiet, except for the cats who always go slightly crazy at that time in the morning, and just make some progress through my book without feeling like I'm being unproductive, without feeling like I should be doing other things. Now, the morning routine didn't necessarily make me more productive during my work day. I feel like my productivity has stayed about the same. It hasn't changed in either direction. But I've just been in a much better mood throughout the day, and that certainly counts for something. So if you are planning your morning routine, I can only encourage you to start the day with something that you find fun. Something that is worth getting out of bed for. Don't get up and do something unpleasant straight away, like work out or housework or look at your emails or read the news. Create that routine with a balance of relaxing and useful things in mind, and try and think about the flow of moving from one step to the next step and how that works out. If you get that balance and flow right, you can start the day with the right kind of energy and the right frame of mind, and that's what I managed to achieve, and I'm really pleased with that. I never thought I would be the sort of person to get up at 6 o'clock, which is crazy because I used to be that sort of person. When I went to school in Germany, my school started at 7:30 and I had to take the bus to school. So I actually got up at 5:30 in the morning for a large part of my childhood. But for some reason now, getting older, getting a bit more lazy, I've managed to move away from that kind of early morning productivity. I'm happy to be back in that, and I'm going to keep my alarm set for that time for the foreseeable future. Let me know if you found this video at all useful. If you have a morning routine, especially a really strict one that you write down sort of minute by minute, and what you include in your morning routine. I know a lot of people like to meditate in the morning, and a lot of people like to go out for walks and things like that. So let me know what you do in the morning and how planned your mornings really are. Thank you for watching. Bye.